Hi guys. I think it's live now. I was making sure I had my bracelet with me, which I guess we might need to do a finishing bracelet class. So luckily that's here. Happy Monday. Oh my gosh, Monday. It's been a really cold here. I see you guys saying in the chat that it's really chilly where you are. For me here, for the kind of typically weather we get, this is on the chilly side, and definitely day to stay in and bead. I mean, don't really need to twist my arm much on that front anyway, but that's kind of what I've been doing. So how have you guys been? I'm just scrolling through the comments. Looks like everybody's here. I'm going to pop a banner up really quick. This is my hashtag for today. And I'm going to do, well, you know what I was thinking I might do is I might give this finished bracelet away. What do you think? As our prize? And so whoever wins can tell me, yes, I want the bracelet, or if you want to do a different, like maybe just like something from the shop or something like that, you just let me know. But I didn't have a solid plan, so I was just kind of winging it today and seeing what folks find interesting. Oh, Lorena says she got her package. That is awesome. Yay. Super cool. Yeah, the packages are flowing. They're getting out there. I've been a busy bee. I'm making a lot of stuff. Lots of little things going on. Like I've been kind of sandboxing, doing a separate shop for like direct from my website. So right now I'm still on Etsy, and Etsy's okay, but every once in a while they give me a little nudge or a little reminder that I don't own my own destiny on there. For example, they hit me with a 12% charge, 12% of the order value charge on a recent order, claiming that it had been brought to me by offsite ads, except for the order was from Jennifer Miller. So I'm pretty sure she didn't need an offsite ad to find my shop, since we're besties and she knows right where to find me. So I think sometimes Etsy maybe plays a little bit of games, if you want my humble opinion. So I'm looking to learn how to do that myself. So it's actually harder than I thought, but it's not that bad. But it's going to take me a while. So heads up, there may be a little minor shop transition in my future as I grow. But I'm working hard on that, and I'll keep you guys posted. And in the meanwhile, I did have a big drop. Let me bring in my other camera and I'll show you. I have some new stuff going on. So let's make this the big one. So, okay, on my mat is the project, but I'm just going to push this aside for just a second. And I'm going to show you guys the awesome restock that I got. So remember I was saying I couldn't get Matubos? Well, they had some. I went and checked, and I mean, between the last time I looked and this time, they had added a bunch. So I have some new colors. I have a bunch of like some new blues, and then I brought back some of our favorites. These were some that sold out right away. There's a new pink. There's a beautiful red. This one is called Luster Coral Red. Oh my gosh, it's like, whew, it's so pretty. And there's a small, lemon. I restocked lemon and I restocked lilac, which are two of the colors in today's project. So those are the ones that were sold out, and I got a lot of restock requests for that one. Well, it's back now. So those are back in. And this one is a little weird. It's called Metallic Leather. It's the one we were talking about if you guys were with us on Sunday. It's a kind of like a metallic leather-ish looking bead that, I don't know if you can see it if it's coming over. It has, sometimes it's gray, sometimes it's gold, sometimes it's almost like a bronze. Anyway, I have a small number of those, and I'll try to keep that one in. I've put my name in the notify me box for that one. But there's the whole drop of Matubo 10-0. Yes, 10-0, Kathy. They go for the same. So for example, today's project mixes in the 10-0. I think I brought up my other tube. But today's project, there's also the lavender in there. So you see it's the yellow and the purple are those two colors. So they're interchangeable. They're interchangeable with Miyuki Delicas, 10-0 size. All right, and so that's in the shop. I also have some new colors of Miyuki Delica, 10-0, because that's my favorite. So I've been stocking my favorite size. I added the Picasso red, that color. Oh my goodness, isn't that pretty? It's so gorgeous. I love it. And then there's this like what's this one called? This is Light Aqua Luster. And then this one is royal blue. This is that red I was raving about. I don't know, I'm just really drawn to the reds right now because they're so bright. So another red luster. And if you want to see it next to the coral, in case you're trying to decide between which is your fave, the coral has more luster to it. They're very, very close to each other. So you can see there's a bit of a difference between the Matubo and the Tenno Miyuki, but all of these beads will work in this pattern. So just think like all the colorways you can make. And I'm going to show you a new pattern I'm working on later in the live. Last but not least, this is sparkling purple. I've been kind of in a quest for the perfect purple. And this one has been called something else. It's called what? Rose lined aqua. So I figure between these two, we can get to purple. But I still am on the lookout for a truer purple. All right, so let me just put those aside for a second, show you one more thing. I have an Arizona palette going. I was able to get this color, but I wasn't able to get it in retail ready tubes. I got it in bags. So it's in my own tubing for the moment. I made it part of a palette, but I'm going to get, like I'm out of these tubes now. I'm going to get like a, I don't know, I was thinking maybe of doing jars like for anything that I can't get in a retail ready tube, but I don't know if folks want to mix that up in their stash. So gotta get some kind of advice on how to, for things I can't get in a tube like this. What would be your preference? Should I try to invest in tubes? It ups the price a little bit, or would you like bags? Do you guys like to do your own storage containers? You know, things like that. But for now, I have this available as a palette, and called Arizona, and that one's in there. I have a few other seed bead palettes that I've been doing a lot of collabs. I did a collab with Turquoise Street, and I dropped what I had left of those beads into the shop. It was not much. I only had enough to do 9 in total of those palettes, but that one's up. That's the one that, oh, the earrings are down on my photography setup, but it's the fringe that I did this weekend. And then yesterday with Nile, I was doing something with Toho 80. And I put that whole palette of Toho 80 in the shop too. I have quite a bit more of those. So that was no rush on those. And that's probably all I'm going to add up until there's a bunch of findings that might pop up for projects in the next couple of months. Those are just kind of cool things that I added, things that Carol picked because Carol had ideas for them. So just eyes peeled there. She's going to be adding some projects to use some of those things. Like she's got a cool earring post in the shop, stuff like that. And Kathy's saying if I can label them. Let's look at this here really quick. Yeah, labeling them is good. I do have a little label printer. And so for the Arizona one, I could pop some labels on that. I think that might make sense to do. The only thing is I could always just put a little paper insert too. Sometimes it's a little tricky to get them to stick. They don't always stay stuck on there. So, but I think that happens with the ones we buy. Like, oh gosh, I was looking at these the other day. These peel off all the time. So maybe that's not a showstopper. Like maybe I don't need to worry about that, but I get stressed out if it doesn't stay stuck on the tube. So yeah, I'm learning. I'm getting there. Aw, thank you. Thanks, Linda. Yeah, I'll look into it. I'm looking to package things in a way that doesn't add a ton of cost to the beads themselves, because that's what we just want. We want to get to the beads, right? And so as long as I'm going to keep doing this, I got to find the kind of most expeditious way to do that. Oh, maybe I need to look at. So is this Abby at the bead place? Yeah, she's a cool way of packing her kits. I need to take a look. I have a kit from her. I think I bought from the TGBE. So maybe I'll just take a closer look at that. Got a bit of a backlog there. Yeah, the baggies. And then the cool thing about the baggies is I can make a cool header. And the header can have information printed on it. And then I just maybe put it in another stacky bag and staple. That way you could have like a palette in there. Yeah, okay. Things to think about. All right, and so I'm just gonna take a quick scroll. I don't know for sure if I have Colleen in the chat today, guys. She was having some computer trouble earlier, so I don't have her here with me in StreamYard. It's just me today in StreamYard, but she might pop in at any time. So when she does, we will cheer. But she might just pop in the chat, or I wasn't sure if she was able to get stuff working today. So, but either way, I think this is a nice, like, easy project, and so I feel like we got this. We got it, and it's also finished, so that's also a bonus. So we just got to figure out how we want to finish it. So the ideas that I had for finishing this, I had a few. And one of my thoughts was we could do a button and leather closure. And I have some buttons that I was thinking of adding either gold or I was going to do bronze. And I just added these buttons to the shop. I have a small amount of those left. But both of those colors feel right and the look of them. But if you feel like they're too small, then maybe we go up to a clasp or something like that. But I brought some leather and I have some of these findings. So let me show you. A couple of them. I've got these little ones that you'll recognize from some of the projects we've been doing. We did the wrap bracelet with you. So a lot of you guys have this already in hand. That could be used to attach the button on one side. I'll just stitch out another row. There's also another way of attaching the button that I'll show you if you didn't have this. So we'll start with demoing that. And then on this, on the flip side, whichever side I have more thread on, actually, that's going to be that side. I thought we could do another one of those little fold over things and put on leather there. But alternatively, you could stitch in one of these findings, and I believe my leather will fit through it. So that was my thought on how to finish it. Sometimes I play around and see what looks good. And if I don't like it, I take it apart and add something different. Let me just see. I have one cool suggestion here. Oh, Mary says that she likes bags and labels. Yeah. You know, that's how Jill does it. And that's a really good way. And that actually is easier to store, easier to carry around. And if I need it in a jar, then I just put it in one of my special jars that I have, like one of those little pull-out drawers with little fittable ones. They fit inside. Those are a cool way to do it too. I'm getting votes for the bronze. Let's do the bronze. Yeah, I was feeling that too. Yeah. And Mary's asking about the background color. So yeah, the background color is a Picasso black. So it's not totally, it's got like a smoky to it. Let me pour some of these out so you can see. Actually, we're going to need some anyway. So it looks like that. See, it's like a Picasso smoky black matte. Pretty cool. It's a really pretty color. I love it. And so now, technically, I have all the Picassos. Life goal accomplished. There we go. So I'll put them all out really quick. So these are the ones. There's black. There's Rattlesnake. There's the Opaque cream, which they call Canary for some reason. I'm not sure why it's called Canary, but there it is. There's this beautiful green. There's the red Picasso. And then there's the one that I have in self-tubing. So that's all of the 10 Picassos. But I promise I'll get this in the shop by itself as like a single item that you can add. I'm thinking I'll get it done like before tomorrow. I'm just in the behind mode trying to get caught up. So I got the palette done, but now I'm going to do another set of these tubes. I just got to figure out, because like I said, I'm out of these. That's what stopped me. But if you guys are okay with baggies, maybe I'll offer it as a baggie until I come up with a better solution, because I have bags here right now. That's something I could do instantly. All right, so let's dive in. Let's play. Let's see what happens with finishing this one. And we can always chat a little more about shop stuff, because I definitely need your guys' help with decision making. I get into analysis paralysis mode sometimes. All right, so I'm going to thread my needle. This is again, let me show you the pattern really quick. If anyone wasn't with us last week when we made this pattern, we did a whole, here's how to start it. And then we talked a little bit about how to like add each and measure each segment, but that is already in a PDF for you that you can download on my website. Has like some refresher on the multi-drop configuration and has a really handy word chart. And when you get to the end of that, you repeat to the desired like number of flowers. So for me, I did this many, which is 6. And it gave me a length before my clasp of exactly 6 inches. And by the time I do all this closure stuff, it's going to push this out to 7 inches probably. So something to think about there. but you can always add. Each repeat gives you about an inch. So every flower is going to give you an inch, and really easy to come up with like the spacing and the counts for that. Let's see if I missed any. Well, I mean, it says she ordered a label machine. Yeah, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, homemade vanilla is awesome. I did that once. It was a little project, and it was very, very great. The house smelled wonderful. Thanks, Anna. Yeah, I love this pattern. It's so fun. I'm seeing lots of folks saying that the baggies are just fine. I think I'll do that then. And maybe someday I'll find the perfect tube, but I feel like the reason I don't want to go all in on ones like these is these are only 5.2 grams. It's too small. It's not enough to finish a project. So I really want something bigger, like something in the way of 8 to 9 grams. And so I really don't like going any lower than 7. So that's why I long term, these tubes are still too small for me. So I'm going to be adding baggies for now, and then visit back to tubes later when after my journey is finding them is complete. All right, so where's my, here we go. Let me use one of these. So what do you guys think of, let me show you 2 options. I'm going to show you how to add this finding, but also how to do the button if you didn't have the finding. Oh, Lorena, it's actually, you can just message me and I can tell you, or if you've ordered from my shop, it's on the return address there. So I'm going to finish one extra row because right now the configuration we got is the 3 up, and this one is going to take the place of that. So you could take your last row and attach the finding, but I'm going to actually just work it out a row and then add the finding. So we're just going to add an all Picasso row here, which is in the pattern, it's color A. So I'll need to complete one whole row. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to pick up another one, and let's go back and start another one. So start in the next row here. Okay. So this is where, and I'll reinforce all that because right now you see how when I pull on it, it's giving me too much. I'm going to need to do definitely some sewing around reinforcing all that connection. So before I do that though, we'll just go ahead and attach the finding. So here's where you could just stitch the finding in. If you didn't have the finding, you can pick up a bead, pick up your button, another bead, and then just go through the next 2 up beads there. And you'll get that. And then you're going to want to reinforce that through and around. So you'd want to go and just start making turns and make it really strong. One thing I would also recommend doing is when you get over here, ladder back into these center, giving it strength back into these rows. So definitely leave yourself a good amount of thread for that. So that's one way. Now, if you have one of these little end findings, then you can skip adding the beads at this step and just put the finding on. And then I'll just jump right into the button. So this finding is made for Tilas, but I've got them in the shop. I use them for a 3-drop 10-0. And there we go. This could also be the way you finish the whole thing. You can just pop that clasp on both sides, jump ring to any clasp you'd like from that spot. So the button thing, honestly, just for fun, just for something different and novel, but you could really just put any clasp you want on there. What did I do? Oh, I picked up a bead there. So I'm going to weave in, and I'm going to show you guys that ladder thing I was talking about. Okay, got there. So now I've made it to like the beads that are right before the stacks of 3. Like go through those and go through the finding. And so we're now going to make a little circle, see? Kind of ladder stitching just the center column. Go back one. So kind of like that. That's going to give it a lot of strength. And from here, I'm going to carry on with the row on this side. There we go. Well, it's a little hard to see. Sometimes the Picassos hide the edges of themselves. So you're just kind of looking a little closer at them. There we go. So see, pretty easy. And now when I tug on this, it's a lot stronger. So I'm going to just get this weaving in done here. I'm going to go through one more. We'll pass up this way. See if I can get through a bunch. There we go. That's nice. This is one thing I love about Tenno Delica. It's pretty slick, right? It's going through all those beads. Where am I? Let's make a turn. And head up one more time this direction. This time I'm purposely zigzagging. And now let's trim it. And let's see if that looks good there. All right. So let's see if I missed any questions. I was kind of focusing on that. Yeah, so if you wanted to make the bracelet closer to 8 inches, I would make 7. And then just make sure your clasp is going to add another inch there and you'll have it. Oh, Karen's saying are there ads popping up? Karen, let me know if that's happening. I might be able to turn that off on my end. I apologize. There's a setting when I upload video live that I need to click that I may have forgotten to do so. So I tried not to have them running on my lives. So let me know if that's happening to you. Sorry about that. And oh yeah, Lynn, no worries. Oh my gosh, snow, really? Oh, that's crazy. And snow in Louisiana, that is amazing. Oh yeah, so Linda has a question. Is there a way? Yep, and I have a tutorial for it. So if you look on my YouTube channel, look for the window pane bracelet. The window pane bracelet was a little different than this one. It was it ended with 2 instead of a center point. It had like 2 edge points where I used the same exact finding and a slider tube finding. So yeah, that one's called the window pane bracelet, and it's currently on my channel. You can get the pattern for it under our sagebrush tutorial. And I might be able to drop a link for you for that. Let me see if I missed any. Oh, interesting. Yeah, Lori says she's getting ads in the middle too. Oh, man. Oh, guys, I'm sorry. I forgot to click something. That's my bad. And Tina says she likes this little clasp. I like it too. It's really fun. Super, super fun. Oh, hey, Liz, no worries. I wonder if there's something I could do about that in the middle of it. Maybe not, but yeah, I can probably take a quick look at that. But so actually, here's what I can do. So this on this side right here, I'm going to put a jump ring. And I'm going to put the jump ring directly on to this finding. And so that finishes this ends. Oh, thanks, Cynthia. She says she's done the 2 of the window panes. Yeah, I had fun with that. That was kind of like the original one that sprung all these ideas. All these ideas like came from that one. It was a really joyful make. So what I'm thinking for this end, I need your guys' input for deciding how to do it. So a couple of ways we can do it. I can start stitching out one of those fold over tab sections that, you know, would basically look like this. We'd be laddering this row out about 6 positions, fold it over and stitch it back here, running leather under it. Or we could use another finding on that side and then put our leather cord through the finding. And that will add a little bit of length. And what I'm going to do right now, guys, I'm going to pop over to I'm going to try to turn off those ads for you because I forgot to click the mid-roll no button. It's going to take me just a second about that. But I'm still here. I'm just going to do that. Interesting. I got to remember to do that in the future. There's so many things. Okay. So I'm just going in here. Looking for a way to do that. Here we are. I know, I didn't even realize it did that on lives. There we go. Okay, tell me if it all is well still. The ads should stop now. I just told it to stop. There we go. Okay, so Terry says she likes the finding, and I'm getting a vote for finding with the leather. And Karen, if you like the button, I have a tiny bag of them left. I found my stash of Tiara Cast has, well, I might have been hoarding them, honestly, but I decided it's time. So I have this, and I have a silver one. Silver one's walked away. But yeah, there's a silver, there's gold, and there's bronze. And we're going to do the bronze today to match my finding. But I could have done gold. I have a gold finding. So we'll do finding with leather. That's really cute. Yeah, I was getting 2 votes for that. Awesome. Okay, sweet. So it seems like you guys have seen me do the other one as well. The fold over. Yeah, that's one of my go-to classic things that I do a lot. And here's one more question. Thanks, Tina. Yeah, I was like, show those ads. Well, they try to you know, for creators, they try to help you out with the settings that are best for your channel, but sometimes they're not best for our instructions. So, but I have to remember to tell them what I want. Let's see. So do the leather. Yep. So we'll do. Tell you what, I'm going to do the leather with the finding for this one, and then I'll do another one. Actually, you know, I feel like I've got content I can point you to with the fold over ones. If you look on my website with the let me bring this up for you really quick. It's at daniellewickesjewelry.com. If you look at my patterns and tutorials section, I have a whole section on peyote stitch. And in that thing has a bunch of videos for how to do that leather tab thing. But I'll probably do more videos on it because I actually just really like doing that. There's the video. And so we'll see. How are we doing on time? We're only at 29 minutes. How about this? I'll show it and then I'll pull it out and we'll put the finding on. Does that work? Okay, let me make this the big screen so you can really see. That way we get all of the things. Okay. This one's a little more involved, so bear with me, but it only takes maybe a few minutes. And then we'll just we'll destruct it really quick. So let's get this one on here. All right. So you want to, in this case, with the row as I have it here at the end, you would just kind of want to, well, you know, you could weave to it or you could start a new row. I'll start a new one because that's going to be easier to pull out. But you could also just weave over and get yourself to this spot right here. Let's see. And we'll finish the row after we create the ladder part. Okay. So now I'm at the center 3 column. So you'll pick up 3. And when you pick up 3, you'll just go back through those center 3. And it pops them on like that. And then just repeat that. Oh, and I just realized this is how I did the snowy trees for a project I did for Jill Wiseman. I showed this exact step for that one too. So you see I'm just ladder stitching, pick up 3, go back through the last 3, and do that out 3 or 4 positions. Usually I do 6, but I realize I do that with Delica 11-0, so let's see what 10-0 needs. 10-0 is not going to need as much. So we'll go 1 more. So there's 4 positions out. And again, that's just a ladder stitch. And then all you got to do there is pull that back over like this and stitch it down by going through some of the beads at the back. And then you want to reinforce that. Reinforce it a lot. I'm going to reinforce only once because we're going to destruct it, but basically you would just want to go back through those green beads again, back through these again, to make sure this connection right here is nice and strong. You just make a circle a couple times. Then go ahead and weave back through. And reinforce this whole thing the whole way. And when you get there, it'll put you here. And then you can just carry on and finish your row out. So that's one way you could do it. Adding the extra row is optional. You can also just weave to get yourself to that center 3 and work it that way too. But so basically, we did that on the side that would be against your wrist. That's the side you would see when you're wearing it. And then the side here on the back has this little fold over thing we made. And that's where you take your leather and just go under it. Then you can do all kinds of cool knots. You can do pretty gorgeous knots this way. And you'll see I'm getting some gapping. I would have reinforced that a few more times on my weaving in. You want to reinforce that a lot, just like we did on the other side. So that's one way. And so I'm just going to quickly destruct and show you the finding. So I don't think I've actually done a leather on that finding before. I'm curious to see it. And I have a hunch it's actually pretty strong too. And so let's see. When you destruct, you can use the eye of your needle. And basically I just need to find this thread here. Got it. And then the one on that side. Yeah, I highly recommend using the eye of your needle for pulling thread out. Even using the eye, sometimes you get a little snaggies. And that should come out on its own now. Okay. So we're back to where we started. Oh, thanks, Lynn. Oh, that's a nice compliment. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's a fun one. That's kind of my go-to thing. And there's lots of different ways you can do that because this one is a weird counting multi-drop thing. But on a just regular peyote, plain peyote. This works really great on that too. It works really great for loom. You can do it for loom. It works for a lot of stuff. Square stitch, everything. So it's something that I think I might do. Like I do it so much that like so many folks have seen it that even though it is like kind of the thing that works best, I feel like, but it's one of those ones that I keep coming back to. So those techniques, they kind of stick with you and become your favorite stuff. So all I'm doing now is I'm just finishing a row so that I can get to add the finding. So same thing we did on the starting side. Get to the end of the row. Now we've got that kind of an edge. Start a new row. Thanks, Tina. Yeah, no, it's one of those things that I think I do it too much. And so I get faster and faster, but I should slow down a little bit. So I'm actually going a little speedy there. So finding. I love that. The way it just goes. I just love that. It makes me happy. It's this perfect fit. I can't even tell you how excited I was when I first discovered that fit. And you know, when I first discovered this finding, I didn't know what it was. Oh, Barbara says, cool. Oh yeah, Kelly, yes, that was a quick D-stitch. Yeah, I know. You can tell I take stuff apart a lot. I do. I try things and sometimes they don't work. So I think I'm like a destruct artist, actually. I saw a great question here. Oh, Tina says she was just talking about the taking apart part. Oh, good. Yeah. Because I realize sometimes I have one of those brains that starts like I talk really fast. People have said I talk fast, and I always try to like remember that I'm doing that. But my brain does that, and then I don't really know where I am in time or space. Just sitting there playing. And so square stitch, yeah. We could do some square stitch. It's pretty fun. It uses a lot of thread, and it has a lot of like so square stitching and ladder stitching are kind of the same thing. I mean, that's just my opinion, I think, but I think the only real difference is going back through the rows. In a square stitch design, you typically reinforce back through, and we could do something like that. That would be fun. Yeah. I'll put that one in my brain for later. And so I just want to match what I did on the starting side. I did not add another row here. I wove back, right? Nothing wrong with adding another row, but it just doesn't look like that's what I did on this side. So I'm just copying, but you remember how sometimes, especially if you check out the window pane tutorial, on the window pane one, I actually stitched another row this way and filled it in. And that's great too. I don't know why I didn't do, oh, I think because on this case, I want the button to stick out. So that could be why I didn't bury the finding as much. I'm going to go with that. And so there we go. It's coming together so nice. And actually, before I carry on through that, I'm going to do that laddering reinforcing thing again. So I'm just going to stitch back through these center rows. There. And sort of showing how much stronger that made it. And now I can just carry on this way. Really, really nice way to put that finding on. I love that. And so all I'm going to do is just head back up through this one little pass here. I'm just going to take a look at the chat really quick. Oh, there's a tutorial for. Thanks, Lynn. That's awesome. And this looks like there's another tutorial I need to check out. Yeah, if Jill Wiseman did it, I know it's good. I need to go see. I'm gonna write that down. Got my pencil here. Because yeah, that's something I definitely want to do. And thanks, Lynn. Oh, you guys are so nice. Let's see. In the finding. Oh yeah, so this finding is in my shop. I have silver, gold, and bronze, and it's made in Greece. And the name of it, I'm not sure if that's just like they give them all these findings. This line of like seed bead findings has like kind of cool names that I think are like Greek names, but see how it says Tila on it? When I first got this finding, I didn't even know what it was for. I didn't know it was for Tilas. I thought, oh, what a cool little, like I was picturing it as just some kind of like end bar, you know? And I didn't realize what it was or where to get it. It's actually, you guys might know Leslie Pope. She's the beadsmith designer, and she handed me a sample of these ones. And I was like, oh, that looks cool. And just like not knowing what it was, just, you know, tried it out. And this is so cool. And I had it for a while, and I remembered that I had it. And one day I was working on a 3-drop pattern, and I was like, hang on, that's what that's for. And so I went and got it, and I was like, it like stitched in perfectly, and my mind was blown. I was so happy. So that's how I discovered these, but it was just totally by accident. And they're for Tilas. So then I started thinking, oh, hang on, because I had another pattern, a herringbone Tila pattern. How cool would that be with that? Oh, thank you so much, Cecilia. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. You're so awesome. The super chats are brand new to my channel, so that is really neat. I didn't even know like you guys could do that till you did that the other day. I was like, that is awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, and so let's see. I'm just gonna keep weaving in. I'm gonna keep weaving in on here, and then I'm gonna show you the leather, and we'll get a jump ring, put that button on, and then we got to figure out who's getting this bracelet. And I can make the leather adjustable too. We gave away the bracelet I made yesterday in our Silver Silk Sundays. So I can't wait to get that mailed out. I forgot today was a mail holiday, so it has not moved yet. But since this is going to one of you guys, I'm making extra sure that I do some nice weaving in. Oh, neat. Well, at least she says she has a stack of PDFs to do that she got those findings for. Oh, that's awesome. I have some patterns I want to show you guys too that they're single drop peyote. I made them a while ago, but I have new colors I want to try, so I'm going to probably recreate them. But I think when we were like working together last week, on Monday last week, we were talking about how I should do some blanks in this count because it puts that finding in the center. So I think I'll do that. But also just more patterns that use this configuration so that we can center our finding. All right, this looks good. Let's do it. So that one's ready. Let's get these picked up here. And just to give you a heads up how much beads. So here's what I have left. And I did not just this, but the earrings aren't with me, but I did the earrings that go with this, the Picasso tassel earrings, and this whole bracelet with just one of these tubes. Oh yeah, Eloise said she's gonna make with the tourmaline mix. That would be pretty. Oh, Liz, thank you. Liz was with us yesterday. Yeah, that was a really fun. I'm loving those Silver Silk Sundays. Thanks, Cynthia. And this pattern was so fun. I'm gonna do more colors. I'm gonna do more colors with this one because it was really fun to make. So let me see if I have some jump rings. I just need to grab a bronze jump ring. I wasn't sure what color we were gonna go with. I've got some of these. So that's for one side. I'm happy the finding is what we went with because it's going to be nice and strong. So that works out really good. One other thought I had. Ooh, hang on. You know what we could do? I just realized this. Actually, I wish I'd thought of it earlier, but for the next one, there's no reason this finding has to go in that direction. It could be stitched like that so that it sits up on top of the work like that, which means I could continue rows out, start adding, because it's just another up bead at this point. So I would treat it just like I do the rest of the stitching that we did here. You could even add another, you know, section to add charms to it. Like, for example, you could replace the 3 in the center and add a little charm to dangle. But what I was thinking is another way that you could have the button sitting on top of the piece. Because right now I've got it kind of dangling in the edge. But what if I stitched it like that and kept making rows? Then the button would sit on top. So that's something I need to do. Okay, yeah, on my list of things. So that is really cool. Oh, I wish I'd thought of that earlier. I would have made it another repeat longer and then just pop that button kind of like so that it would completely connect on the rest, right? That's awesome. So let's bring our leather through. And what am I thinking here? I'm thinking we could do a barrel knot, or we could just do an adjustable like loopy knot. Let me think about that. Yeah, we could do that. All right, I'm going to make sure I have enough length. And I'm going to bravely try one of those kind of barrel knots. It's been a minute since I've done one of these, so let's just kind of experiment. So the length I cut, actually, let me measure it really quick. So I know, and this is more than you need. It's just I'm being safe because I'm not sure yet, but I actually cut a lot of leather. I cut like 14 inches or so. And that, again, 14 inches is probably too much, but it'll make me able to do an adjustable one. And so to do an adjustable one, the button's not very big. So assume the knot is here, button's here, another knot is here, another spot for the button right there. I don't want to make it about that long. So I fold it over. I folded over about 4 inches of it, a hair over 4 inches. And then the other end is the rest of the length. So it's got a lot of length. This is going to be the one I do the knotting with. And what size is the leather? I believe it is 0.5 millimeter? No, or 1 millimeter. Oh, darn. Okay, I got this from Sam's Bead Shop. It is, I feel like it's got to be 0.5, I think. Well, let's think. Actually, I know how to tell. Let's see. Yeah, no, I think it's actually 1 millimeter or even 1.5. Because a seed bead, an 8/0 seed bead is 2 millimeters. So this could actually be 1.5. You know what I'm going to do really quick? Barrel knot from Kelly. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to get you the size of this leather for sure. I feel bad that I didn't check that. It's from Sam, and I'll just get you a link for it. And where are we at here? Hopefully he still has it. It is 1.5. And he has a bunch of colors. And here it is. And the one I'm using, I believe, is the one called, is it Natural? Let me take a quick look. No, the one I'm using is called Warm Brown. Okay, here's a link coming at you. It is Warm Brown 1.5 millimeter from Sam's. And that says 15, but what they really mean is 1.5. I think it's because they won't let them put dots in there for that link. All right, so that's the leather size. And I'm going to do a quick barrel knot. I'm kind of rusty on this, so let's just try it. So wrapping the long one around like that. And then you want to wrap up away from the end. And I'll just kind of pinch it and go around. And I'm trying to leave at least enough that I can get my leather through. Enough space in the coil. And I might have done that too tight, but let's see what happens. Almost got it. Yay. Okay, so you want to feed the leather through the coil you just made. And that's why you coil towards the bracelet, so that when you pull it this way, as it's coming through, your leather's headed the direction you'd like it to be. And it's going to make a cool little barrel knot, one that you can slide a little bit. So both up and down. Let me make it tighter. So the long side, the one that we formed the barrel knot with, when you pull on that, it makes the coil tighter. When you pull on the short side, the one that's going to be it's the main part of the guide for our button length. When you pull on that one, this slides. So you can slide it up closer to the finding, or you could even slide it down. I think that looks good. You can see that's going to add a bit of length there. All right, let's bring our button around. And so my next barrel knot's going to start right about there. So I'm going to kind of do it. If you kind of put a little hat like that, it'll make this less tight. And then each one you coil, you can just kind of, I messed that one up, sorry. There we go. Because the first coil I do is always too tight to get my leather back through. All right, there we go. So that leaving that little hat like that makes this part easier. You can also use a straw. And somebody mentioned Kelly. Kelly has a tool. That's Kelly from Kelly's Bead Boutique. She has a barrel knotter tool, which is a really cool little thing that she invented. And I think I have one, but I just don't have it up here with me. I think it's in my downstairs area where I usually do a lot of my work. So there's my first button. Oh, thank you, Shelly. I'm happy with how it came out. I don't always love my barrel knots. I take apart like a lot of barrel knots. Oh, yeah, yeah. We could put a charm on it too. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. I'm loving this barrel knot. So I'm glad we did this one. Sometimes I'm scared of barrel knots. So do we have time to do one more? And then we'll do our giveaway. Let's look. See. Got it. Yeah, a cocktail straw is a great way to do it too. I think I've got one of those near me somewhere. I might. Let me see. I'm not sure if I do or not. Oh my God. I have no idea how I have this here. I swear I'm not sipping drinks in the background with you guys. But, you know, if I was, it'd still be pretty cool. So I'm actually going to trim that a little shorter. So let's see if I can do it this way. Sometimes, honestly, it's like easier to do it without the straw. I don't know why, but let's see both. Let's try it. So in this case, which way do I want to put it on the side. Put it on the short side. And then make sure I still have the length right. Yeah, I got it. All right. Just going to feed it through the straw here. Oh, no. Watch me not be able to do it using this. Oh, no, hang on. It's working. Yay. Okay. There we go. Do we still like it? Ah, yay. Okay. So, moment of truth. Trying it on. And I'll trim those ends and everything. Let's go ahead and see. Should go. Yeah. So that works. And then if you're giving it to someone and they want to, they can always just cut it. Or they can use the second one and cut it over here. So, and then putting a charm on. I love putting charms on. In fact, I'll add a charm to this one. You can put a little charm through the leather right there with a jump ring, and it'll hang as you're wearing it, complementing the button usually. And then, so for this end, we'll just do it on a caddy corner. Oops. There we go. Did I get that right? Maybe a little bit better there. Yeah, I like it to look kind of sideways like that. Cool. I'm going to save this. That's pretty handy. So that is the cutest little way to do a fun barrel knot closure for your design. And again, I've got the findings in my shop if you're looking for them. They're called the Soros. I'm not the only one who carries these. Lots of people have them. Beadshop.com has them. They're at artbeads.com. I believe Jill has them too. So if I have tons, but if for some reason I'm out, there are definitely other places you can find these, or if you happen to be shopping those places. Yeah, and so this is a pattern that's free on my website. You can find it at daniellewickesjewelry.com. It's under the earrings, Picasso tassel earrings. That's where you can find it. Let's do our giveaway, find out whose bracelet this is. Let me bring up my other screen. And we'll do a share screen here. Is that working? I'm going to switch it back to like, hang on. All right, let's try one more time. I want it to be bigger. It's not very big. There we go. That's what we want. Okay, so, oh, hey, Zakaya. Good to see you. Thanks, Lynn. Thanks, Kathy. Thanks, everybody. Aw, Shelly says she has her fingers crossed. All fingers crossed for you guys, too. Here we go. Ready? I'm going to hit the button. Which one am I on? 1, 2, 3. There we go. Oh, it's Kathleen. I don't know your last name, though. So you'll have to send me. In this case, I will need your address because I'm going to mail you this bracelet. And if you guys like this whole jewelry thing, I can start doing this for a lot of our projects when we finish. So eventually, all of you guys will have a piece. Definitely going to do that. Oh, thank you, Asaquina. Awesome. Thank you so much. Congrats, Kathleen. I'm just seeing if she's still here. Yeah, Kathleen, if you're still here, let me know. I was going to wait and see because sometimes what's been happening is I don't always like, oh, yeah, there we go. I like to make sure I at least connect because sometimes folks don't know they won. Yay. So, yep, this is your bracelet. So let's go ahead and bring my screen back. So what's coming up? Lots of cool stuff is coming up. I've got a couple of really cool plans coming, and plus some dream projects. So Carol's working on the size 8 seed bead mix for February. It's a beautiful mix of reds and has salmon in it, and it's just a beautiful, very cool earth tone. it's going to be really fun. She has a bunch of project ideas. So she's been really, really busy working on that. And that's coming out early February. I think it may be possible for us to actually have that launch the first Saturday of February, but I can't commit to it till I actually have the beads in hand. So she's going to get it all set, but tomorrow she's going to see the beads in person for the first time. So at that point, she'll give me thumbs up, thumbs down if we have any changes. So yeah, she's working on that. And I have a collab coming up. Well, more than one, but a bunch of stuff coming up. So on the 22nd, if you want to check out beadshop.com, I have a project with them that is this really cool ice necklace, and it uses these faceted 10mm melon beads with drop beads. It's super cool, super fun. It could be a bracelet, necklace, lots of different versions and spins you can give it. So I'm fast at work on that. And then I was just talking with Turquoise Street with Brittany. She's going to do findings. We're going to do a findings seed bead mix collab, kind of like what we did on Friday last week on her channel. So if you didn't catch that one, if you go over to Turquoise Street, last Friday we did a live, and oh my gosh, she makes the coolest components. They're works of art by themselves, but we put beads on them, and oh my gosh, I had so much fun. So I was super inspired. So we're cooking something up, and of course we're going to be keeping the Silver Silk Sundays going. I believe we have Becky coming on Sunday next Silver Silk Sunday. And then Saturday, this upcoming Saturday, Stacy is going to be showing you a loom project that she made a kit for. And that kit is currently in my shop. It's a beautiful blue mix that she designed, and it has some 3mm fire polish, and she's going to be looming with 80 seed beads and fire polish. So if you want to pick up those beads, you'll have everything she's going to be using for our next seed bead Saturday, which is I believe it's the 25th. Yeah, I think so. 25. Yeah, 25th, this Saturday. And then I'll be back with you Monday with a surprise project. I want to show you what I think I might have. So I have two patterns, and it's regular peyote. Let me put this big screen up really quick. So I don't know for sure 100% what the colors are going to be, but I have a vision of doing something like this. This would be the background color. And then this beautiful emerald came back into my life. So that emerald. And then that orange you're seeing would actually be this sparkly one, which has an orange flow to it. And then, of course, the pink could be pink. Metallic leather for the black. And then there's a beautiful aqua for the blue. And then there's the white. And that covers all the colors in the pattern. So it basically would be these guys to do that, or any of the other beads in your stash that you want, including size 11 Delica, will also work. So if you have 80 seed beads, you name it. There's lots of things that will work here. You can also mix in the size 10 Delica beads too for this to work out. So that's one. And then I have an old pattern that I want to bring back in the new color. So again, this would be worked, and I had a little error on it, so ignore that little thing there, but I fixed that already. So this one's going to be another one that I feel like this whole earth tone thing, this kind of looks like the painting on bark, that my parents used to have these paintings on the wall that they got from a trip they went on, where it's bark painting and the colors are bright and bold and vivid. There's bright yellows and pinks and greens. And so I've been trying to get that feeling in these pieces. And it definitely has, I think they got them in Mexico on a trip in Mexico. And I feel like that's where the inspiration is coming from on that. But I just felt called to do these colorways. And so that's what's going on there. Not super elaborate technique wise, but just lots of fun. Just lots of fun. So you can find these pretty soon. I need to make some corrections, and then I'll release these, and they'll be up probably before my next Monday. And so Eloise, I have not actually finalized how many colors are needed. But if I go with how it currently is, there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 colors. I may do 2 versions of this. I may do a version with the 10, but then I could also create another version that uses and repeats some of the colors, so you don't have to have as many. And I always like to do that so folks don't have to get so many beads. So that's definitely something I'm working on. For example, There's no reason we have to have them all be a difference. We could just repeat a base of 3 or 4 colors, and that would also still look super, super amazing. So lots of spins on that coming. And that's also when you could work with the Arizona palette if I turn it into like a 4 bead. If I went with 4 bead colors, that would be handy. So I'll definitely do that. Yeah, it's just a geometric happy pattern. So that's what's coming up in the next few. And then of course, there's going to be another project for Jill. I'm doing a Jill project with bees and flowers. So it's going to be fun. Honeycomb earrings or bracelet, could be either. And oh yeah, and Jewel Loom will be releasing Creative Soul. So I finished up the Ski Lodge bracelet for her, and there'll be a matching pair of earrings for that. And at some point in there, I'm going to do my taxes. Wish me luck. Oh my goodness. Business administration is not something I love. I'm not going to lie. It was not fun, but I'm like knee deep in all that. So it's slowing me down a wee bit, but it's that time of year. So yeah, Susan says we have lots of beads. Yes, that is right. So I'll definitely be releasing this as is, probably the 10 bead pattern. I always test them before I release them, at least get a few rows going, make sure I didn't make a mistake, because once in a while I make errors and like all different. So before you guys get started, I'll make sure and at least begin it so I know that the pattern is sound. And then I'll put it on the website. I'll do a shout out in the socials that it's there. And then we'll work on it as we go. It might be like something I work on over several lives, maybe with some guests that are doing other stuff to keep it interesting. Because this is just peyote stitch. It's going to be like kind of the same old, a lot. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I love them too. They're so fun. We're very blessed in this community with some really amazing people. They keep us laughing. Oh my gosh, you guys. And I just talked to Jody today. We're gonna do something together in February. So, oh my gosh, so much great stuff. Yeah. So definitely, I'm gonna just let you guys go tonight, but I'll be back. You can see me on Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. on beadshop.com's YouTube channel, and I believe they also go to Facebook. And then I'll be back on Saturday for our Seed Bead Saturday with Stacy. All right, see you then. Okay, happy beading. Happy rest of your Monday.